Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. So I wanted to do a quick video on Muhammad Iqbal and touch upon some of his key ideas, such as that of Khudi. And the reason I want to do this is because, one, there is a lot of misunderstanding in regards to Iqbal amongst some Muslim circles and some individuals who don't seem to have either read him properly or understand his concepts and ideas. And secondly, there is this phenomenon that's taking place, which is that Iqbal over the decades and years has become more and more secularized, where certain individuals have taken his poetry, his works, and many of them which are directly linked to Islam and to the concept of God, and they have stripped these facets from his work and have given almost a new age interpretation to his writings and his poetry. Both are problematic, and it's unfortunate because a lot of his ideas are extremely relevant to young Muslims today. I'll probably do another video talking about Iqbal's journey, because I had the opportunity to really study his work in a lot more detail and in depth when I was doing one of my modules for university, but that's probably another video. Here I want to specifically cover his concept of Khudi. Now, this concept, this idea of Khudi, it's not easy to interpret, but I don't think it's impossible. I think we can get a good gauge, understanding Iqbal's mindset, understanding his background, understanding his connection with the Quran and the Islamic tradition. I think we can get a good gauge on what he meant when he spoke about Khudi. Now again, this idea of Khudi has been secularized today and it's been misinterpreted. I believe Iqbal, when he spoke about the Khudi, as he himself mentioned, the idea of his philosophy came directly from the Quran itself. In particular, when once one of his friends went to see him and visit him and asked him, well, where did your philosophy come from? Where did you get this philosophy of Khudi? He was expecting that, Iqbal would, refer to some of the so-called great Western philosophers such as Nietzsche, etc. And, because he had a concept of the Übermensch as well. But when he went to see his friend, when his friend went to see Iqbal and he sat with him, he told him to go and pick the Quran up from the shelf. And when he told him to open to Surah Hashr, where Allah says, وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ, do not be like those who forgot Allah. And then Allah continues and he says, because those who forgot Allah, Allah made them forget themselves, and they are the ones who are the true transgressors. This was the essence of Iqbal's Khudi. This was where he derived it from. Now, understanding this connection, this link, we also have to appreciate that the word Khudi originally comes from the Persian. And in Persian, the word Khudi means selfishness, focusing on the self, individualism, and just being extremely selfish. These are the connotations of the word in the Persian. But when Iqbal transported it into his philosophy, his idea was that Khudi is referring to the essence of the human being. It's that, as he, I think, referred to as the divine spark. It's the essence. It's what glues the whole of the personality, the human being, together. But it's not of the worldly nature. So one way to reflect upon this and think about this possibly, and I incline towards this understanding, is that this may be referring to when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blew the soul into Adam. Now, this was something that Allah put into this creature, which distinguished this creature from all other creatures and all other creation. Now, this is the essence. So it's this Khudi, this essence, this reality of the human being, which exists within all of us. But most people are not aware of it. And if they are aware of it, they don't know how to develop it. And the concept of Khudi, the philosophy of Khudi, is all about nurturing one's Khudi and developing this. Iqbal also was heavy on the idea, and again, coming from that same verse where Allah says, do not be like those who forgot Allah and Allah made them forget themselves, was the link between the creation and the creator in respect to knowing oneself. To know oneself, or to know one's creator, one must know Allah. Now, people go both ways in regards to this. Some would say that when Iqbal was referring to the Khudi and knowing the Khudi, it was about the first step is to know oneself, to come to terms with oneself. Who are we? What are we? And then through doing this, one discovers the creator. Others have also mentioned, well, no, you begin with Allah. Because if you look at the ayah in the Quran, it's specifically Allah saying, do not be like those who forgot Allah, turned away from Allah, and therefore Allah made them forget themselves. So it begins with Allah, that you first recognize your creator. And then through recognizing your creator, you end up or you discover yourself. Now, after thinking about this for a while, I have come to the understanding, or at least for myself, that I think it works both ways. There are elements of both. Because to begin with, one has to stop and has to take account of themselves. What am I? You have to start with yourself in that regard. Who am I? Reflect within yourself. You realize that you're a rational being, you're an intelligent being, you're an emotional being. You have ethics and morals. You have certain attributes such as you have mercy, you have love, you have compassion. And when one reflects upon these things within themselves, they recognize that there has to be a cause. There has to be an all-powerful and almighty, a creator who gave me these faculties, these abilities, these traits. So through analyzing oneself, one starts to some degree appreciate the creator. I have love, I have mercy. I love my children, for example, or I have mercy towards my neighbors. And I know what that feels like. If I have this amazing, powerful emotion, then the creator of that emotion must be far greater in ways we can't even compare. So you can see it's to some degree, one starts to, in some way, get a glimpse, if you like, of that creative power. They start to appreciate the creative power behind everything that exists. That is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But as we know, there is no comparison to Allah, right? You can't say just because you have mercy, Allah is the most merciful, therefore that's something that links you or connects you. No, Allah's mercy is beyond anything we can imagine, any created form of mercy, right? But we are merciful too, and we have mercy. So at the very least, it gives us a sense to some degree. But then the other also applies, that at some point in that journey of self-reflection, you have to come to the point where you go to the revelation, you read the Quran and you learn about Allah, because the only way to truly know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is through revelation, is through what Allah has told us about Himself. Then when you read the Quran, you learn about Allah, you gain that knowledge, and you also gain the knowledge of who you are. Why did Allah create you? How did He create you? What is your relationship between Allah? When you discover these things, then you truly get to know yourself. And that truly grounds you as a human being. Now that's the starting point of the Hoodie. That's the first step, is to recognize yourself. Recognize that Hoodie, that essence within you, that essence that permeates you. And then from that point, the journey begins, is where you develop the Hoodie. And Iqbal spoke about this as well, is to strengthen the Hoodie, to grow it to the point where you become, a complete human being, and not only for yourself, but then you have the ability and the potential to help others and to change the world and to do something significant in this world. And again, Iqbal was misunderstood in regards to this point, because when he brought the notion of Khudi, some people criticized him and said, well, oh no, you're just promoting, selfishness. You're just promoting people to focus on themselves, the ego. But that wasn't the case, because Iqbal recognized, and the nuance here is this, is that for one to do something significant in the world and to help others truly, they have to know themselves. They have to be in tune with themselves. They have to have that internal energy that comes, and that power that comes through connecting oneself with their creator. So, and this was his concept of Khudi, where it was about, now, okay, give it to others, share this with others, help others, change the world, make it a better place. So I guess in conclusion, the concept of Khudi is very powerful, especially for our youth, because we live in a world today where secularism is rampant. The idea of God, purpose of life, the meaning of life, these are, insignificant. People don't even reflect upon these things or think about these things. But at the same time, by turning away from these bigger questions, people find themselves in a very dark place. They're lost. They don't know what to do. People are confused. People are confused. They are living this pick and mix lifestyle. Choose a bit of this, have a bit of that, stand for this, attack this, and it's all arbitrary. It's all random. It's just based on your desires, your inner self, what you feel is right, what you feel is wrong, what you feel the meaning of life is, what you make up for yourself. So people are confused, they're lost. And this also affects Muslims, especially young Muslims, because like I mentioned before, we may call ourselves Muslim, we may associate with the religion of Islam, but we don't, until and unless we understand the core tenets of our faith, of Islam, we would never truly be able to benefit from the guidance that Allah has given us. And to do that, we need to start to learn about ourselves, know about the Khudi, as Iqbal called it, the self, the true self, and then to start developing it, to nurture the soul, to develop our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to develop our connection with Allah, and therefore to grow through this process as a human being by following the things that Allah has told us in the Quran to do. And that develops the soul, that develops us as human beings, that we will grow this way, and we will then eventually find ourselves in a position where we have enough power, enough strength, enough energy to go and change the world around us. Muslims need this. Young Muslims need to understand this. It's not just about calling yourself Muslim. It's about recognizing what that means, how that impacts you. What does that mean about you? Who are you? Find out who you are. Connect with yourself, connect with your Creator, connect with your true meaning and purpose. That Allah created you to know Him and to worship Him. Understand what that means. And then that's what's going to allow you to live a significant and meaningful and a happy life. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. Hopefully this was beneficial. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Before you guys go, make sure, if you haven't already, download the Quranly app. It's a beautiful app, guys, especially for those that spend a lot of time on their phones. Download the app. It's a productive app. It's an app for the Quran that's designed to help you develop a regular relationship with the Quran. I'll leave you guys with that, and I'll speak to you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum.